Hello and welcome to another Angling Direct Quick Bite, and the focus today is fish care. But before I get started, don't forget to head over to our YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button to see more videos like this. The first thing I want to talk about is the equipment that you need. I've got a nice big padded unhooking mat, I've got a bucket of water, I've got my weigh sling and some scales, and I've got a carp care kit. And you want to have all this ready, laid out on the bank, all ready in case you catch a fish straight away. So I'm now going to go and put 2 rods out. Fingers crossed I can actually catch a carp. Then I can show you exactly how to deal with it from the minute you net it to the minute you release it. Quite a scrap off that one, but he's safe in the net now. So the first job is I'll just pay off plenty of slack line and put that back on the rod rest. The fish is quite safe in there. There's plenty of depth of water, and I've got this nice little reed bed just to wedge the net in. So I'm more than happy that he can just rest there for a few minutes. We've got everything ready, but I just want to pop back, make sure the mat is nice and wet, and zero my weigh sling. Right, that's the sling all zeroed and the mat is nice and wet, so I've come back to get the fish. And there's a few important steps here that I want to get across nice and clear. And that's firstly, make sure you've got plenty of slack line, so you're not going to cause any stress on the hook hold when you move the fish around. It's a little bit of a tight swim, this one, so I've got to just guide my fish around that little reed bed. Make sure I've got plenty of slack line down there in the landing net. And this is so important. Don't try and carry him to the mat with a net like this, because you'll get in all sorts of bother. Pop the head off your landing net. Just leave the pole in the swim, that won't disappear. Like I say, there's lots of slack line in there. So I can start rolling the mesh up. Make sure you've got loads of slack so you don't cause any stress on the hook hold. And here he comes. Now I can see this isn't a huge fish. If it was a really big fish, I'd bring my flotation sling into the water, and then I could guide him into the flotation sling to make it a bit easier to carry him. But as he's not a massive carp, I'm confident I can do this safely in the landing net. So I'm now just putting my hand underneath the fish to make sure both his pec fins and his other fins are all folded against his body, because you don't want to damage his fins. But he's quite lively, but he's now in there with all his fins flush against his body. Again, pay more slack line off if you need it, and we'll carry him up to the unhooking mat. So the first job is to pop the hook out, so I'll just unwrap him and get the hook out. Once you've got the hook out, we can get the rod completely out of the way. Just untangle it from the mesh, and we can get that so it's not hindering us. Don't forget to keep the fish nice and wet. It's quite a sunny day today, so we want to keep it nice and cool and nice and wet. And then slide the landing net from underneath the fish. And you want to slide it so the fins are all pointing the right way. You don't want to try and slide it out the wrong way, you'll break his fins. So that's the net out the way. Now is probably a good time, if you want to weigh the fish, you can quickly pop it on the scales. I don't think it's a giant, but we'll weigh it anyhow. It's probably just under 16 pounds, that one. Another little splash of water. And I'd lift the fish up for a few photos, Keep the fish nice and low to the mat. You want to be in complete control. If the fish does start to flip or move about a bit, it'll be really easy just to lay the fish back on the mat, cover his eyes, and just keep him nice and calm. There we are. So what a lovely looking mirror carp, a nice dark one this time. Right, now before I carry it back to the water, I can see that a scale is lifted on its shoulder, so I've got a little bit of carp care here. There's 2 bottles, one for the mouth treatment and one for the body. So I'm going to pop a little bit on this lifted scale. And I'm just going to treat the hook hold as well. Again, when I now carry it back to the water, the fish's fins are all folded flat against its body. I'll zip it back in the sling and carry it down to the water in the sling. Well, here we go, all ready to slip the fish back. It's nice with these flotation slings, you can just float them in the margins and you can either let them swim out or you can have one last look. But it's nice to put these fish back in exactly the same condition, ready for someone else to enjoy on another day. Thank you, mate.